So fueling up in any place is never easy, but when you're in sort of off-grid places like the Galapagos Islands or the South Pacific or Asia, like we are now, there is no fuel station which you can pull alongside.
In this video, we have to refuel the boat using jerry cans. We go in search of the Komodo dragons and we find them, and our boat gets hit.
That boat over there just hit us right into the bow of our boat.
Getting hit was probably the worst part about it, so stay tuned to find out what happened. So it's about 4:30 in the morning, and it's my watch again, which is every 3 hours. We've run a 280-mile passage from Wangi Wangi in Wakatobi to Flores, to Labuan, Bajo. We're kind of trying to stay north because the current is better and there's slightly better winds, because the currents are really strong around here, but the more south we get then the current goes against us, so we're going to try and stay north and then sort of do a sharp turn to port and then head south. So that's the plan. It's actually quite nice sailing. The wind sort of picked up a bit, so we're going steady kind of between 5 and 6 knots with 9 to 13 or 9 to 12 knots of wind, so it's pretty good really, and makes it quite flat calm as well really, so it's not too tiring. It's moving but not bouncing about too much.
So we sailed from Wangi Wangi and we're just rounding Bonarat Island now on the way to Flores. We saw the Bajo people, so it was a real bonus to see that and actually see them going about their daily lives doing the things that you only ever hear about on documentaries. So we're making slow progress. The currents kicked in between the two islands and the wind's dropped because we're in the shadow of Flores now. So we've got the mizzen ballooner up, which is the sail we use when we're between 120 150 degrees of the wind, and the winds are light. So it's perfect sailing conditions for the mizzen ballooner. But still looks as though we're not going to make it till the early hours of the morning, which is a bit tricky because we've got a choice of 2 anchorages. One is full of coral bommies and the other one is a busy harbour. I think we'll probably go for the busy harbour just because it's a wider approach and hopefully we'll see more lights. If not, we'll just slow right down and we'll just make sure we get there at first light.
So we are still sailing westwards. It kind of goes on for a long time because Indonesia is really stretched out. I mean, it actually covers several time zones, and with the light winds, it takes a long time to sail west. But we've kind of been on the boat for 3 days now. This is our 3rd night. So we thought we might get hit today, but the winds are too light. But we have seen some amazing sunsets. Really like big balls of red fire, and just quite nice to watch really. So that's our entertainment for the evening.
I know you can never pick these things up on camera really well, but we've just had the most spectacular sunset and now the most spectacular moonrise. There's like a really impressive blood red moon just rising over the horizon. It's more like sort of a red beacon than a moon. It's really wonderful to see over the calm sea. I'm kind of interested in Flores for several different reasons. I mean, there's obviously the animals, the Komodo dragons, and even the extinct species are fascinating, like the small elephants and the giant rats and things like that. But also the Homo floriensis, which is a breed of people who lived about 40,000 years ago, who were only about 1 meter tall. People reckon that there might still be a couple of isolated tribes in the dense forests within the middle of Sulawesi and Flores as well.
So one of the things we've had to do, now we've got to Labuan Bajo, which is Flores, is to put some more fuel in, more diesel. We've done quite well. From Cairns we only used 300 litres, I think, because we've been sailing as much as possible. We'll go at 3 knots, 2.5 knots, no problems. But we're not sure on the next leg. We're down to now sort of like 260 now, because we've had to run the generator as well because of the rain. So that also uses fuel, diesel. But we're now heading the next leg to Malaysia, and there is still another 1,000 miles to go or so, and we're just not sure what the winds will be like, because you get these no wind zones by islands, and you know, it's not just because you're not sure. Basically, we want to make sure we've always got enough fuel, so it's difficult to find fuel in Indonesia. We've heard about all sorts of stories of putting sort of black sludgy fuel in and all sorts of things. We haven't really found anywhere we felt confident until here, where you can get the higher quality fuel here from the station at the dock here. So it's called Pertamina Dex, and that is the best quality you can get here.
Now here we're really lucky in a sense that the fuel station is right next to this jetty, so we can just kind of bring some jerry cans across and fill them up.
So it just involves a bit of legwork though, because you've got to go and get the canisters there, drive them back, pour them in yourself.
So yeah, we have to bring the dinghy ashore, but it's never easy, because the pontoons are never in a kind of a state you would hope them to be, and they've got rebars sticking out the concrete, or they've just got rough edges, and some of the times they don't even, the jetty doesn't even meet the pontoon. You've got to kind of clamber down the pontoon and then get the diesel cans back up. So yeah, it's never easy. It's always a challenge. I mean, one thing I would say about different countries is they call different fuels different things. Like in here, it's the diesel is called Pertamina Dex. The other thing I would say is it's always worth having a really good set of chaps on your dinghy, because it doesn't matter how careful you are, you'll always rub up against the concrete or rebars and things like that.
And once we get back to the boat, it's a case of just taking each canister one at a time and filling up using the best filter that you can get your hands on. Thank you for watching our videos. If you love these adventures and you would like to thank us, then you can simply click on the Super Thanks button below. If we have now inspired you, I suggest you head over to Patreon and sign up to our page. Here you can find out so much more, and we can talk to you directly. What do you think about that, Derry?
It smells really bad, but there's a lot of illegal fish in there, like parrotfish.
No fruit and veg.
So sailing around the world for 7 years, it's quite ironic that the one thing we've been missing is some good English tucker. And we've come to this place called the Docker's Arms, and it has everything English. It has the beers, the bangers and mash, the pies, everything you want for just a good night out. So we obviously, after traveling around remote for a few days, love to have some good burgers. Dad had a club sandwich. My mum had like a tuna salad, and it was absolutely amazing. So, and the pudding, they have cheesecake, creme brulee, they have brownie, everything's just amazing. So we didn't hear about this place until we came across it, and it's just really a hidden gem. It's really weird how there's nobody else here, but yeah.
It was the best, like the burger and the creme brulee, because I personally had the creme brulee, and it was just, everything was perfect, just perfect.
In the circumstances, I would consider probably a 9.5 out of 10.
Whoa, what a mumpy.
I think really for the venue, for the types of choice you have, and the price, and the happiness factor with all the kids, is definitely, I would say, 10 out of 10. And of course, if you wanted to try the more local, traditional street food option, there were plenty of places to do that. But on this occasion, I don't think I was going to convince anyone to go there. after refueling the boat and ourselves, we set a course to Rinca Island, which is where we hope to find the Komodo dragon. So Rinca is still part of the Komodo National Park, and we were warned to keep our eyes out because you do get a lot of dugongs in the area. Okay, so can you guess where we are? It's not a real one, but that's a Komodo dragon. So we are here in Rinca, which is the island where there's a ranger here, and there are Komodo dragons here apparently. The Komodo dragons are the world's largest lizard species and are endemic to Nusa Tenggara Islands. The first thing that we saw when we arrived in the park were different animals scuttling about, and then we saw some that had not been so lucky. It was quite hot by now, so the first dragon that we saw was one that was sheltering from the sun in the tree. They're the largest population of dragons in the Komodo National Park area. So Komodo dragons live and hunt individually. They are apex predators that prey on terrestrial mammals such as deer, boar and buffalo, as well as small lizards and turtle eggs. But we also know that they eat each other. So the guide's just telling us that this is the nest. They dig it about 1 metre deep. The eggs and the baby Komodos stay in the trees because they do get eaten by each other, so they can stay safe in the trees and feed on small insects.
The Komodos basically make fake holes, like fake nests around the other ones as like camouflage.
So even though the Komodo dragons are known to be vicious and dangerous, we were quite happy that we managed to see them. So on that note, we were ready to head back to our peaceful anchorage and back to our boat, but little did we know that there was a bigger danger yet to come.
So this huge wooden boat just rammed into us onto the railing, and we were all down below and we just heard this massive shake, boom!
So we have no idea why this boat left the dock, and instead of going down the channel between our boats, there was plenty of room. It decided to go round the bow of our boat and come so close that it actually didn't even make it.
And we all went up, and the boat was leaning onto the side of us, that they were kind of just sitting there.
These boats just seem to be top-heavy boats with no steerage. And because of this, they got completely wedged on the front of our boat. And they couldn't even get themselves off, but we finally managed to fend them off and push them away. pencil.
So just around 5 minutes ago, I'd actually say 2 minutes ago, a boat, that boat over there, just hit us right into the bow of our boat, and it damaged our railings and it's bent it completely forwards. So to replace it, we're going to have to replace all of the rigging, which will not be cheap.
2, 8, 1. I kind of knew that there would be nothing much we could do about this, that it would be a problem that we have to deal with. But I suppose I wanted to try and feel like at least we were trying to do something about it. So we went over and got a phone number off them and their name. And the idea was that we were going to try to meet up with them and see if there's anything that could be done.
And the entire railing is completely bent. I think that might make us a bit grounded in terms of sailing and very expensive.
It felt demoralising after the amount of hard work that we put into keeping this boat maintained and looking good. It also felt annoying that someone just from bad seamanship can come along and just smash into our boat, and they just seem so laid back about it. The only thing to do was to split from our buddy boat and sail back to Labuan Bajo to see if there's anything we could do.
So sorry about the noise behind me. There's a lot of generators and engines going on around the harbour. We've turned up at just before 8 o'clock, where we're due to meet the skipper of the captain that wiped out our pulpit. There's no sign of life at the moment, but the way we've left it is we were supposed to meet him at 8 o'clock. He's supposed to take us to a workshop where he thinks that this thing can be fixed. We said we wanted to see the workshop first before we actually go ahead with that, because you could actually make things worse rather than actually fixing it. So we want to make sure this guy knows what he's doing and he's got the equipment to do it. But we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because we've got no other options. The guy claims he's got no money. We kind of started talking to a lawyer, because this thing could cost maybe £2,000, which is, what's that, about $3,000, which is not money we've got to spare really. I mean, we're not asking for much. We just want the damage to be put back the way it was. You know, we're not even asking for compensation or loss of time and effort and all the rest of it. We just want the thing to be fixed. But it's in this country, it's really difficult to get any sense out of anybody and get anything done. You know, there's a kind of a really laissez-faire attitude towards this sort of thing, and we've got to get going soon. So, and the other thing is, even if it can be repaired, how long is it going to take? Because we should be in Bali in a few days' time, and we're just not going to make that. So all in all, it's a really stressful situation. When we were looking around the boats now, and turns out the guy's got no insurance, and apparently the insurance is not a thing for these smaller boats. We've seen boats using waste pipe as outriggers, basically just platforms strapped to the top of wooden platform strapped to the top of fishing boats with waste pipe used as an outrigger to stop it capsizing. And a little bit of digging online has found that there has been a lot of accidents around here, boats capsizing and then dredged back up again and then capsizing again, boat fires. You know, people have actually been killed on these boats. I mean, you've got this massive police boat here and these boats going out which are clearly not fit for to go into sea, and the police are just sat there just watching them coming and going. So it's a difficult culture to get your head around, really. You know, I mean, good on them for being enterprising and making some money out of the tourists, but you know, when you're going around smashing up people's boats and basically sinking boats, at least make these boats seaworthy and make sure the captains are okay and everything works at the very least. But anyway, that's just me ranting. I'll shut up now, and hopefully the captain will turn up soon.
Keep everyone up to date. So we told him it was going to cost us 30 million rupiah. It sounds a lot, but that's about £1,500. That was the lowest quote we could think of. He's like, hasn't got that money. Okay, so we tried to negotiate. He kept saying he's going to fix it, but that means being here, going to a workshop, probably can't do it. We said we don't want to fix it, we just want the money to go.
We know I've spent 7 years on a boat with stainless steel guardrails and push pits and pulpits and what have you. We kind of know what is possible and what isn't. So and I think he was just going to bring some mate and try and bend it all back.
So he keeps saying he's got no money, although, yeah, I did point out he's got a moped, a boat and, a phone, so he has got money. But he wasn't willing to negotiate, and then after a while we sort of said we're going to go to the police and the lawyer.
Anyway, we were just on our way to make a police report, and then we got another call that he was going to offer us 125 quid, which is like about 5% of the cost. So anyway, we decided to cut our losses, and then we're going to bail.
But, the cost it will be for the lawyer, it might not get anywhere. He hasn't got any money anyway. How's the lawyer going to get out of him? That's what I'm thinking. So, he lost face. He realised he made a big mistake. He feels obviously bad, very apologetic. He gave us the 2.5 million. We agreed it in front of the police, and we can go. Because I want to go and enjoy some stuff here. I don't want to sit here in this place, just try and deal with a repair that won't be a good repair, and don't want to stay here and do that. I'd rather have some money and go. So that's it. We've cut our losses. An accident, and he's paid a little bit. Off we go.
Sorry for the crashes.
Yeah.
Because we have.
I think he needs to improve his skills.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Be careful. Okay.
Yeah.
Be good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we just finished talking on the boat. We couldn't get the guy to even agree to paying 10% of the repair cost. He wanted to try and come on the boat and bend it back himself, which is impossible. So this is the very busy town of Labuan Bajo in Flores, and we're just stocking up on a few fruit and veg after our traumatic negotiations, and then we're going to try and catch up with our buddy boat. It's about 36 miles away. We've got to try and make it before nightfall tonight if we can. All depends on the tide and the wind, but it's going to take us a bit of time, I think, to process what we feel about this place. I haven't had the collision and the negotiations and all that. We haven't had much time to kind of appreciate it, although we did find an English pub, which is one of the highlights for me personally. It's sort of crazy that we come halfway around the world, and one of our big delights, or one of my big delights anyway, is the fact to find an English pub. So very Brits abroad, I'm afraid, but that's the way it is when you've been travelling for 7 years in these places.
Stay tuned for the next episode when we set sail towards Bali, but we stop at a more remote anchorage with less tourism and find the most beautiful waterfall, which is a lot less intense than our experience with the dragons and this incident. We always say that sailing and life in general has its highs and its lows, and I suppose without the lows you don't really appreciate the highs, so this is one of those low moments, but it allows us to really appreciate the next things that we see. So stay tuned for more adventures as we sail around the world. If you want to find out how to fix your boat, go to our Mothership Maintenance channel, and if you've got any questions you want to ask us, join our Patreon family.
You and me, we're family. Sing